Hi guys, Steven here, back with another video, and this is breaking news. Cody Rhodes has left AEW. Uh, so this has just come out in just the last hour or so. That Cody and Brandy are both leaving All Elite Wrestling. So this is quite big. This is big news. I mean, we've heard about Cody, for a while is finally, he's been working on without a contract. He's been working on a handshake deal. I don't know if Brandy was the same, or maybe just her contract had just recently expired. I'm not quite sure, but it's wow. I mean, this is still quite shocking overall. I mean, Cody Rhodes really was. I mean, you got to give him his due. I mean, real integral part of AEW. I mean, from when AEW got off the ground. I mean, he's essentially a co-founder, executive vice president, and then you had, his wife Brandy she was the chief branding officer, I believe that was her title. But I mean, it's breaking news. It's big news. It's a shock. But I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, I mean, let's try to go back to the start then with Cody and AEW. I mean, Cody. I think from the beginning the booking wasn't the best, to be honest with you. I mean, okay, I mean he had that match with Dustin Rhodes, and they had a good match at that when it was at the first big show, and real emotional at the end, and Dustin Christ was gushing buckets of blood, but I mean the thing with Cody though is I think they made a mistake with the whole thing of like him could never compete for the AEW championship, and then there was the whole the booking with the MGF storyline. I think that could have gone on a little bit longer. I don't think they should have had an MGF turn right away on Cody. I think they could have done a better job with that. But I think again with Cody, it's all about kind of being perceived a certain way with Cody a lot of the time, and that's where he had the whole thing similar to John Cena, the whole the TNT Championship, I'll every week I'll have someone come in have a competitive match, but I'll still go over, so there's all that stuff with Cody. But I mean overall it is quite surprising. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. But I mean, the thing is, though, I mean, there were stories a few months ago that came out that Cody had some heat with, there was maybe like a falling out or something there, I believe, with, maybe it was Kenny Omega, maybe the Bucks as well. And then maybe also, I guess, there might have been a bit, him not entirely seeing eye to eye with Tony Khan. And this, I would guess, is a large part of the reason as to why Cody and Brandy have left AEW. Yeah, I mean, you've got some people who are saying, it could be a work. I mean, who knows, maybe, but I mean, go back to when Cody did that. Was it after the ladder match with Sammy Guevara when he did that promo, and it was like the whole, what Sean Ross Sapp is saying is true, I'm just working a handshake deal. And I must say, when he cut the promo, I mean, I did believe him, you know what I mean? In a way, he was still working, but at the same time, it was still a shoot, if that makes sense. I mean, because wrestlers they're always working, don't be fooled, but, I mean, I don't believe it's a work. I would say there's about 7% chance to 7% chance of it being a work. I don't buy it that it could be a work. So there's now, rumors that Cody's going to be, joining WWE again. So yeah, I mean that's a chance. Sorry, what am I trying to say? That's a possibility that Cody could go to WWE. But it's a funny one because Cody, it was kind of like when you think about it, if Cody was an executive vice president, it was almost like he was kind of his own boss in a way. The only person he really had to answer to was Tony Khan. So would he really want to go back to WWE and have, if he messes up a spot in a match or something, or says the wrong word in a promo, and he has Vince, he comes back to Gorilla and Vince gives him, an ass chewing, Vince chews his ass out. Would he really want that? Would he really want to go back to that environment? I mean, we've all heard about how toxic of a place that company could be. But hey, maybe there's a lot of that bullshit in AEW as well. And it's just kept on the down low, you know. It's a funny one with those guys, with Cody and Omega, the Bucks, Tony Khan. I mean, you know, a lot of people would say that Tony Khan was kind of like a money mark. But I think Tony Khan's a lot smarter than he lets on. I mean, I think in the early days, did Tony feel like, hey, I want these guys, because he was such a huge wrestling mark, did he want people like Bucks and Omega and Cody as his friends? I mean, I don't doubt that, but I think now as time's gone on and Tony's got all this power and influence and obviously got a lot of money, and I'm sure he has friends, you know, he has no shortage of friends. Now it's, you know, so now it's like, well, I don't need to have these guys kind of working me, because I'm sure there's part of him that they probably were working him to a degree, you know. I don't think he's daft. So I don't know, maybe something's gone down with Cody. But, I mean, to me, there was probably a power struggle going on. Probably was a power struggle going on with, with Cody, the Bucks and Omega. But the thing is, Cody joined their little group, was it, in 2016? And those guys had Omega and the Bucks and whoever else that's in that gang. It's like a real big gang. And, they had been friends for a good few years more than, Cody had been friends with them, So Cody probably was kind of like a little bit of an outsider in that group, So, but, if he goes back to WWE, I don't know. I don't see him in the world title picture, I don't see him winning the Universal title or the World Heavyweight title or whatever that's called these days. I don't see it. Some people are trolling on Twitter saying, "No, Stardust, you'll go back to being Stardust." Stardust, I believe, is trending right now. But I don't know. I just think Cody will be like a US title, Intercontinental title guy, but you could come on Raw, come on SmackDown, have some good matches. He could have a good match with Rey Mysterio again. He could have a match or two even with AJ Styles, have a program with AJ. Work with Kevin Owens, maybe work with Seth Rollins. I believe they've interacted a bit before. So yeah, there's some good things for Cody to do, and I'm sure the money he gets WWE will pay him will be decent. Would it be the same amount of money he was making in AEW? Maybe around the same, maybe just a little bit less. But so it's not all that bad for Cody, But, it is still surprising overall, this use. Let's not, But the thing is, I believe something's gone down. And a lot of the AEW fanboys and fangirls will be like, oh, you don't know what's happened, blah, blah, blah. It's, so if you're to speculate, there's been some heat there's been a problem there, they'll just get pissed off at you alone for bringing that up. It's like they get pissed when it's like, people are speculating as to what happened with Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara. Sammy was in the ring with that woman, Pam, was like his high school sweetheart last August, proposes to her. And then 5 months later, he's now with Ty Conti and he's going to Brazil to see her family. Within 5 months, really? Come on, but these fanboys and fangirls, though, they think that everyone there can do no wrong, But I'm sure there's some politics there. I'm sure there's a little bit, sometimes, maybe some vibes that are a bit negative when you're in the back there. I don't doubt that. But it was getting a little bit annoying with Cody because I felt it was just Cody just didn't want to turn heel. That was the problem. Cody had said that, I think, in interviews. He didn't want to turn heel. He made that even clear in promos on Dynamite, that Cody, it was to do with his kid, And it's like, well, come on, it's a work, it's an act. And you can still do the heel thing, but say, well, hey, I just cared about my wife and my kid, and that's my priorities. And you can still be a heel off of that, because you really do believe that. Isn't that the thing they say in wrestling? A heel, what's something about the heel is always justified in his own mind or something, or whatever the saying is. I believe something Jesse Ventura said, but Cody would have been much better as a heel. And a lot of people that are critical of Cody, I mean, yeah, there'll be idiots that'll just shit on Cody for the sake of shitting on Cody. But there's a lot of people that were critical of Cody Rhodes. It was his character. It was that babyface shit. You know, people aren't like, oh, glad and happy that he's leaving AEW. No, I'm not. I thought there was a good... I wanted to see what Cody would be like as a heel when he fully turned heel. And I feel they missed a chance there. I mean, okay, him and Sammy have gone on to have a great ladder match, and from the spots that they did and all the other stuff in the match, I mean, they had a great match, but they missed the boat there with Cody not turning heel, and I believe he should have turned heel on Sammy, because Sammy is over with those fans. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, it looked like they were wanting to turn it looked like Brandy was healing it up to the crowd, shitting on the crowd. But then it was weird because you still have Brandy, Brandy's, doing the back and forth, with Dan Lambert, who's a heel, and the fans don't like him. He gets good heel heat. And then you had the whole thing, when Paige Van Zandt comes out, a freaking UFC fighter, and they're making it out like almost like Brandy is her equal. And it's like, what the fuck? It's bullshit. A lot of the stuff that goes down to AEW, the booking, is bullshit. And I want to get behind AEW, but some of it is just bullshit. And it's starting to turn me off. I've been turned off for a good few months now, But, I mean, Cody going back to AEW, yes. I mean, would Brandy appear alongside him on screen? Sorry, did I say Cody going back to AEW, but Cody going back to WWE? I mean, Cody, yes, there's a good chance there, but would Brandy appear on screen with him? I don't know. Maybe. But, I mean, some people might think it's a work, right? Some people might think this is a work. I mean, and, there's maybe one reason that it could be a work, and I'll get into that. From looking at Cody Rhodes, and I searched his name on Twitter. You got freaking whatever it was trending. Stardust is trending, but I looked up Cody Rhodes on Twitter, searched it, and I scrolled through all the tweets, and I don't see any tweet there from anyone in AEW yet thanking Cody. And that's maybe a bit weird, because you think right away it's come out. This is breaking news that Cody Rhodes is leaving AEW. You think there would be a lot of people say, hey, I wish you all the best, thank you for everything, Cody, etc., etc. But we haven't seen that yet. I mean, you have Dustin Rhodes that's come out and says, he's tweeted, I love my brother Cody Rhodes. I love my sister-in-law at the Brandy Rhodes. Whatever they decide to do in life, I support them 110%. I'm sad that they're gone, but the effing train keeps moving. So that's what Cody has said. His brother Dustin. But I haven't really seen anyone else say anything yet. But, I mean, you never know. It could be a work. You never know. And Cody, out of nowhere, him and Brandy turn up out of nowhere and then beat the shit out of I don't know who they beat the shit out of. Maybe, I don't know, a Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. I mean, they've got a match coming up. I don't know. You never know. But, I mean, it is shocking, yes, because Cody was there from the start with AEW. They all seem to be one big happy family, all those guys. I mean, you had, with Cody, with Brandy, Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. You could even throw Hangman Adam Page in there. So I just feel there's something to this. I mean, and maybe more will come out. Maybe there's been a falling out there with him and Tony Khan. Maybe that's partly because he's had a falling out with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. I believe someone's gone down there, and that's just how it can be when you get older and it's your ego. Sometimes it can just be you have less patience and tolerance for the bullshit with other people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you think they'd all be happy because they're making they're making good money. They're making whatever it is, $1 million a year. But I guess sometimes ego can get in the way, pride can get in the way. But it is surprising overall that Cody Rhodes is leaving AEW. But overall, to Cody Rhodes, to Brandy Rhodes, good luck. And I wish you guys all the best, because I don't always like the way you guys come off. But overall, you're not all that bad. You're not bad. And you have big goals, you have big dreams, you've been doing some other stuff like reality TV show projects and such, and overall, guys, I wish you all the best, and who knows, maybe down the line you maybe have a little bit of a run. Cody will have a bit of a run in AEW, and maybe you'll come back to AEW and sort things out, and maybe you never know. Never say never in the wrestling business. That's one thing. Just remember that. Never say never. But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys, on that. So I hope you liked the video. All right, take care, guys. See ya.